Welcome to WPTV, where we bring you insights from leaders shaping the future of the wealth management industry in Canada. Today, we're honored to have a very special guest, Dean Orrico, the President and CEO of Middlefield. Dean heads up Middlefield's award-winning real estate strategies, which have not only captured numerous accolades, but have also seen their real estate ETF recently achieve the Fund Data A+ rating. Under his leadership, the Middlefield Canadian Income Trust, listed on the London Stock Exchange, has been recognized as the best North American equities trust in the UK by Citywire, a testament to its outstanding performance. Dean Orrico is a respected figure in the investment management community, dedicating many years to educating financial advisors about the evolving trends and developments within the capital markets, both in Canada and internationally. His expertise and leadership have led his team to win Citywire's Best North America Equities Trust for the Middlefield Canadian Income Trust, achieving the best risk-adjusted returns in its category. Dean, great to have you with us. Welcome to WPTV.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you very much.
What would you say is your leadership style, and how has that contributed to Middlefield's success?
Well, I've been doing this for, it's not years, it's decades. It's a style that's evolved over time. And, we try to be a very inclusive type of firm. So we're not as large as a number of our competitors or as small as others. We're what I would describe as more of a mid-sized firm, about $2.5 billion in assets, about 45 employees. And, we try to have, a very flat structure so that way we can have lines of communication open right across the firm. And we found for a firm like ours, and given our history, that's really the type of culture and leadership we need to ensure that we maximize our resources, both human and capital. So as a leader, I'm trying to really encourage people to think outside the box, to not be fearful of raising issues that may be contrary to, things in terms of how we're doing them right now. So to make it as inclusive as possible and make the dialogue as open as possible. And we've built a cadence and a structure here that allow people to, raise their views on a regular basis in terms of having monthly and quarterly meetings among, all of our key people to ensure that those voices are heard. So I think my role as a leader is to ensure that's happening. And then I think the other aspect would be to ensure that our clients know who we are and what we do. We've got, we think, a very unique niche and strategy in the market here. And as CEO, I want to ensure that our clients really understand our position in that market, why we think it's unique, and how we can help those clients basically achieve their own goals. So as leader, I don't see myself as being or maximizing my efforts being in the background. I want to be in the foreground and dealing directly with my clients, trying to help them. And at the same time, learning from them, what are their challenges, and see if we can find ways to help them with that. So I view that as, maybe my highest and best use here is to ensure that our clients kind of know who we are, what we're doing, and trying to help them achieve their own goals.
Interesting. So why would you say that you got into wealth management? Was there an interaction or a seminal moment that led you to this?
Great question. Like most things in life, it's really never by design. It just kind of evolves. So I've been at Middlefield since 1996, so nearing 30 years. And our firm has really evolved over that period, and I've evolved with it. So I came in as an analyst, and at the time in the mid-90s, we were a bit more of an opportunistic firm, really hadn't kind of laid any foundation in asset management the way we are today. We were really known as more of a firm doing kind of real estate and resources, and for the most part on a more tax-advantaged basis. And then we started in the asset management area, mostly focused on equity income. And it was that early experience in the early to mid 90s where I really found a passion for this business, and not only in building portfolios and strategies that we thought would help individual investors and institutional investors, but just as importantly, trying to help advisors and meeting with advisors on a regular basis. And I found the combination of all those factors being well suited to my own strengths and the things I really enjoyed doing. So it did evolve over time, given how Middlefield grew and changed in the mid to late 90s. And then really it's just built from there.
And could you describe the strategic vision for Middlefield in the next 5 years?
Sure. So, we're first and foremost an asset manager with a particular focus and expertise in equity income. And we're at an interesting juncture as far as the investing landscape goes. If you look at the market, say from 2010 to 2020, during the vast majority of that period, interest rates were very low and the market was really all about growth, and really what personified growth was technology. And then in 2020, of course, we hit the pandemic and we've had some volatility, but really now we're in an environment we believe where inflation will remain higher than it was during that decade of 2010 to 2020. And as a result, we think interest rates are going to remain higher as well. So while you do have, say, the Magnificent Seven stocks that are really dominating the performance of the S&P 500, we really believe that investors are now going to be looking to diversify beyond that. We think you're going to get more dispersion in the market into areas like equity income that we believe will be very important for investors to meet their income and total return needs. So our strategy, we think, is really now going to have more of a tailwind versus, during that decade was perhaps a bit more of a headwind, because people were less interested in equity income and then more focused on growth. And we think that that pendulum is swinging more to what we do and where we have our expertise. So our strategy is really to build on that franchise of being an independent asset manager that's focused on equity income. We've got a number of products that we think are well suited for advisors and individual and institutional investors as well, to make sure that they're earning very competitive total returns with an equity income strategy. So whether that be healthcare, where we've got a real franchise, or real estate, or infrastructure, or even in diversified equity income, we've got some products that, are very strong performers, number of which have won awards, whether it be Lipper Awards. Our real estate ETF just won the Fund Data A Plus Award for real estate for 2023, which is a very prestigious award to be receiving. So we think now our strategy with this tailwind could really help us build solutions for advisors and really trying to really grow our business by doubling or tripling it over the next 3 to 5 years. We think this is a good time for what we do here at Middlefield.
Fabulous. Would you be able to share an experience where you had to lead your teams to a significant challenge?
Well, I think back over the last 25 years, and clearly there were lots and lots of challenges. And, I remember during the period of the global financial crisis from 2008, 2009, again, being focused on real estate. We know real estate was really at the core of that crisis, particularly in the US and the housing market, and really trying to navigate that and really trying to navigate the exodus out of equities. It wasn't just the stuff that we did and were expertise in. It was really in equities overall. So really trying to manage that. And then we had a replay of that during kind of 2020, 2021, during the pandemic, where again, investors didn't want anything to do with equities. And as a result, trying to manage not only how our portfolios performed during that period, but also trying to educate our clients and financial advisors in particular in terms of, how they should be managing these issues. And one of the things that we really find is unique at Middlefield is that we're very comfortable and really make it part of our value proposition to get out and meet with advisors either in good markets or in bad markets. And we not only meeting with advisors on a regular basis, and I do a lot of this myself in addition to our sales team and our portfolio management team, we're also meeting with the advisor's clients. We're happy to meet with clients because the advisor says, well, we've got a portfolio manager, we have the CEO of Middlefield who can really help us understand what's happening in markets. So we're doing that on a very regular basis.
Great. So what core values do you believe are essential for a leader in the wealth management industry?
So clearly, I think it is transparency. So whether you're in good markets or bad markets, making sure that everybody's aware of what the challenges are. And I think all of our stakeholders need to be aware, whether they're our employees, whether they're our suppliers, whether they are our clients. So making sure that, they are aware of what's happening in the firm, making sure that, we are always doing the right thing. So yes, markets go up and down and our portfolios will go up and down, but staying true to what is the mandate of our portfolios and managing to those mandates. And then again, being clear to our clients that this is what this portfolio is designed to do. And we really believe at our core that over the fullness of time, those portfolios will generate very competitive total returns, and not trying to time the market by trying to be cute with a portfolio strategy, but staying core to what the portfolio does. And then being disciplined in the management of those portfolios. So our chief investment officer works very closely with our portfolio management team, ensuring that we are adhering to kind of who we are and what we do in managing those strategies. And we think that makes it easier for our sales and marketing teams to convey that to our clients. So if we're staying core to it at the portfolio management construction level, we think that our sales and marketing teams will have a better time and an easier time of really explaining that to clients so clients know exactly what they're getting in our funds.
And can you provide an example of how your firm has innovated or adapted to stay ahead in this market?
So, over the years, we think we've actually been, quite innovative, across our various product lines. We've got a tax advantaged resource-based product line that we've had really since inception here at Middlefield, and trying to create ways to make the tax efficiency even more effective and create optionality for our clients who own those products. We've built a lot of products over the years that we think are really quite unique and address a need of individual and institutional investors. We've done that both in Canada as well as in the UK. We've got a strategy that we manage for UK wealth managers and institutions that we've done since 2006. And really that strategy was innovative in the UK market because it's providing UK investors, institutions, access to equity income in North America with a particular focus on Canada, which we think adds to the diversification available to them in that market. So, we think those innovations over time have really helped. We've launched a family of split share funds that are quite unique relative to other competitive products that really give clients an opportunity on a very tax effective basis to participate, say, in Enbridge, where we've got a split share fund focused just on Enbridge. We've got a split share fund focused just on real estate. Again, providing clients the opportunity to own the areas where, we're focused on a very tax advantaged or unique way relative to other products in the market.
Great. And so is there any advice that you were given that stuck with you, or advice that you would give to someone at any stage of their career, or more so starting out?
So you can come at this from a number of ways. So as a portfolio manager, having done this for as long as I have, I've learned that you can have some real bolts out of the blue, whether it's in the market generally or in a stock specifically. So diversification being critical and trying to ensure that, owning that company, as long as you still have conviction in that company, makes sense, as opposed to trying to trade around that company. So it's about time in the market, not necessarily timing the market. So that's a lesson I've learned, a hard lesson I've learned over my 2+ decades in the business. And then I would also say that for young people coming into this industry, there are lots of opportunities. It is a truly great industry. And at the end of the day, most people are coming in with very similar academic qualifications. So what really does lead to success in this industry is your ability as an individual to really fit in that organization, to really be supportive of people working below you at the same level and people above you. And we think, and I've personally seen firsthand, that is the best way to achieve success in your own career, is ensuring that you are fitting in and being supportive, as opposed to, trying to operate on a basis where you're the only one with the right answer. At the end of the day, the answers can often be more collaborative and collegial in nature, and are often best developed through collaboration and collegiality, as opposed to just going down one particular road.
Great. And how would you say that your firm differentiates itself and its client service approach from competitors?
Yeah, great question. I think what really makes Middlefield unique is how we've built relationships with advisors over 25, 35 years. For me personally, it's over 25 years. For the firm, it's over 35 years, over 40 years. So those relationships we think are critical, which I think really does make it difficult for a startup to do in our industry, especially in North America and Canada in particular. I think that's certainly a differentiator, how long we've been in this market, the relationships that we've built. And I think what goes hand in hand with that is it's always been our style to ensure that we are transparent and open to our clients. So if advisors need information on one of our funds, we're always making ourselves available, and our portfolio managers and myself, we're always making ourselves available to advisors. There are other firms where just the sales and client service people are dealing with clients or advisors. We ensure that portfolio managers, the people actually making the decisions on our strategies, are available to them as well. We think that really does give us a unique value proposition for our Canadian and UK clients.
Incredible. What do you feel are the biggest challenges facing the wealth management sector today?
So, I think you can come at this from the perspective of the evolution in the industry. We know that, compliance continues to be a major factor, whether it's know your client or know your product. So, those are issues as asset managers. We're constantly trying to upgrade our systems and our protocols to ensure that we're properly addressing those needs. But that's an ongoing issue. From a macroeconomic standpoint, whether we are going into a slowing economy, whether we're going into a severe recession, our house view here is that we think the economy is slowing. We don't think we're going into a severe recession anytime soon. We think interest rates will remain higher than they were previously. But in the end, if inflation rears its head again and interest rates start going higher, that can certainly be a challenge for the asset management, wealth management industry. We saw in 2023, as interest rates rose, a lot of investors went into cash alternatives, earning 5 or 5.5 or 6% on a relatively risk-free basis. Again, as wealth managers, they clearly want to bring those clients back into the market, back into the equity market. We think we've got a lot of good products for that type of demand. But again, that's been a challenge people have been dealing with, is how to get that money back into the market and working for clients, because you need to have a long-term outlook. We think these GIC rates that existed at that 5 and 6% level in 23, we think that's relatively short-lived. We think rates are coming back down again. You need to diversify away from that into areas like equity income, where investors can start earning competitive total returns over the long term.
Incredible. So with everything you have going on, how do you achieve that work-life balance?
So that's always difficult. And, I've my family, my wife's got her own business, so she's pretty busy with that, which allows me to kind of be away from home and not feel too much guilt, because, she's very busy running her own successful business. And then my children are all now, between the ages of 18 and 23. So they're all fairly independent. So in fact, that's given me more time personally than I had even 5 or 6 years ago. So I would say My time management challenges were tougher 5 years ago than they are today. The business continues to be tough, but now that I've actually got a bit more time, this is really, I think, a great period for me personally in this industry, just given where I am in my personal life.
And is there anything you would change, like going back 5 years? Would you say, is there a moment that you wish you could do differently, or it's worked out pretty well?
I think it's worked out pretty well, but there's always coulda, woulda, shouldas, and if I had the opportunity to do things differently, I don't think in any major way, but clearly I could have tweaked some things in our business a little differently over time. But at the end of the day, I think we're in a great position, especially in light of where the market is now. We've weathered crisis after crisis over the last 40 years. You can't say that there's many firms that have been around as long as we have as an independent asset manager. So I think overall things have worked out pretty well.
Dean, thank you so much for those insights. That was incredible.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed it.
And thank you for joining us today on WPTV.